Sharanam Vairagya Vidyam Buddhim Shri Siddhantanidhim Subhakti Lasitam Sarasatanambaram Vandetam Shubhadam Adeka Sharanam Nasisaram Sridharam Shri Siddhanta Saraswati Tiditau Gauriya Guruvanvai Bhato Bhanuriva Prabhat Gagane Gaura Sankirtane Mayavadati Mingilo Daragata Nudhritta Jivaniman Krishna Prema Sudabdiga Sukham Pradata Prabham Tam Bhaje Namo Gaura Kishoraya Bhaktavadhuta Murtaye Gauranga Padma Bhrangaya Radha Bhavam Nishevane Vande Bhakti Vinodam Shri Gaura Shakti Sarupakam Bhakti Shastragya Samrajam Radharasa Sudhanidam Gaura Rajasita Shaira Vaishnaveira Vanda Vigraham Jagannatha Prabhu Vande Premabdham Riddha Vaishnavam Vanchakalpataru Herscha Kripa Sindhu Hevacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Nama Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Sarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Namo Mahavadannaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gaudatase Nama Sashtang Dandat Pranam to all the exalted Vaishnavas, devotees, servitors, serving wholeheartedly at the lotus feet of Srila Gurudev, Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev-Goswāmī Mahārāj, and Param Guru Mahārāj, Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev-Goswāmī Mahārāj. To our friends and well-wishers, Pranam, Namaskar, and welcome to our Friday evening Sangha. I have divine panelists. Let me bring them on. Dandat Pranam and welcome Sripad Arun Krishna Prabhu.
Dandat Prabhu.
Dandat Pranam and welcome Sripad Chinmayadev Prabhu.
Dandavat Pranams.
Hare Krishna. So today we're going to begin with Religion of the Heart. It's a beautiful, beautiful transcendental literature. And it's by His Divine Grace, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev-Goswāmī Mahārāj. So we will start and we will try and take some turns, if it's okay with you. So I'll start with the introduction. If anyone wants to follow along. This book is it's been presented to Srila Gurudev by our very own Bhakti Premik Siddhanti Mahārāj. He's such an inspirational Vaishnava, and so he is the one who is speaking over here in the introduction as we're going to go through, because it's in first person. Just wanted to make sure everyone knows. So this is Siddhanti Mahārāj. I would like to begin by first offering my repeated obeisances to my Diksha spiritual master, His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Mahārāj, who has spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. Even though I had nothing to offer him, somehow or other, he has been kind and allowed me to come to the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math to have the association of the great Mahabhagavad devotees. His Divine Grace, Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev-Goswāmī Mahārāj, and His Divine Grace, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev-Goswāmī Mahārāj. All three of these great souls have given me shelter, and I am grateful to them for giving their energy to such a fallen and helpless person as myself. This book is a humble and inadequate attempt on my part to show a small part of the vast treasure of transcendental knowledge His Divine Grace Śrīla Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev-Goswāmī Mahārāj has been imparting to the world for the past 15 years. Śrīla Govinda Mahārāj has been on 21 world tours that have taken him to every corner of the world. He has met with sincere seekers and distinguished persons from all walks of life and preached Krishna consciousness vigorously wherever he went. He has appeared on weekly internet radio broadcasts for the past 10 years, and under his direction and inspiration, over 70 centers of Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math have been established in over 40 countries. 250 books and related articles in over 20 languages have been published under his direction, establishing the perfect conception of Krishna consciousness he has carried from his Guru Mahārāj. By his influence, so many sincere souls suffering under the horrible influence of the Kali Yuga now have a chance to take shelter under the cooling rays of the Supreme Lord's lotus feet. We can't really understand his great contribution to Krishna consciousness, as it is inconceivable. In 1941, Srila Sridhar Mahārāj wrote a shloka and put it on a flag atop a bamboo pole in his mutt, which was just a small thatched hut at that time. That shloka forecast the future glories of Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math and said they would be sung all over the world one day. Srimad Chaitanya Saraswat Mathavara Udagita Kirti Rajay Shreem Vibhrat Sambhat Gangatat Nikat Nabadip Koladri Raja Yatra Shri Gaur Saraswat Matha Nirata Gauragatha Grananti Srimad Rupanuga Shri Kritamati Guru Gauranga Radha Jitasha. At that time, some of Srila Guru Maharaj's godbrothers chided him by saying he had only a small mutt with a few buildings and a few devotees. So how, they said, would the glories of this mutt be heard all over the world? Now, due to Srila Govinda Maharaj's unflinching spirit of self-sacrifice and complete dedication to his Guru Maharaj, he has successfully established the supreme conception of his Guru Maharaj in all parts of the world. So those with a clean heart and desirous of real spiritual life can practice Krishna consciousness under the direction of a bona fide spiritual master. Due to his grace, the sun never sets on the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math, and the flag that Sri Guru Maharaj hoisted in 1941 waves in the favorable breezes on every continent. When we hear Srila Govinda Maharaj speak about the pastimes of the Lord, or for that matter, any subject matter, we are reminded of the third sloka of the Srimad Bhagavatam, which says, Nigama kalpa taror galitam phalam shukmukamrata dravya samyatam pivata bhagavatam rasamalayam mahuraho rasika bhuvibhavaka. The subject matter of the Srimad Bhagavatam is very sweet because it deals with Krishna's pastimes, but those pastimes have been made even sweeter because They were spoken by Srila Dev-Goswāmī. I hope we can see in this book the sweet nature of Krishna's pastimes are made even sweeter because they come through the lotus lips of Srila Govinda Mahārāj. Srila Guru Mahārāj and Srila Govinda Mahārāj, Srila Guru Mahārāj said Srila Govinda Mahārāj was a natural Paramhansa. He is taking the sweet fruit of Krishna's pastimes and making them even sweeter and more relishable by adding his sweet nature to them. In 1955, when Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada received the first copy of the Sri Gaudiya Darshan magazine published by Srila Govinda Mahārāj, he commented that Srila Govinda Mahārāj was a transcendental humorist, and that people would like to read articles written by him with great relish because they are not only instructive but also amusing. I hope this book conveys this beautiful style of Srila Govinda Mahārāj, as this was the original intent of the publishers. If not, I hope we can improve the next edition. The preface is a Bengali poem, Your Fearless Lotus Feet, written by Srila Govinda Mahārāj in 1957 for the glorification of his Guru Mahārāj on the occasion of his Vyasa Puja. In this poem, we are shown the perfect spirit of dedication and devotion an expert disciple has for his Guru, as well as the perfect example of humility a disciple should have for his spiritual master. The poem also shows the deep insight into the higher Siddhanta that Srila Guru Mahārāj said Srila Govinda Mahārāj was so expert in. In part 1, Srila Govinda Mahārāj explains the gist of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's conception of Krishna consciousness based on one shloka. Ārādhyo Bhagavan Tanayas. Ārādhyo Bhagavan Vrajesha Tanayas Tadhama Vrindavanam. Composed by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. He explains and shows by logical reasoning how the absolute truth is a person, not an impersonal void or abstract entity, and that person is Sri Krishna, whose land is Vrindavan Dham, the highest plane in the spiritual world above even Mathura or Dwarka. In Vrindavan Dham, all residents worship Krishna with great devotion, but in different moods such as Shantarasa, neutrality. Dandavata Pranam and welcome Narottam Nitai Prabhu. Dasya rasa, servitorship, Sakhya rasa, friendship, Vatsalya rasa, parental relation, and Madhurya rasa, which is divided into two parts, conjugal and paramar. The highest worship is known by the Brajagopis, and this is thoroughly explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the supreme scripture recommended by Srimad Mahaprabhu. Srila Govinda Mahārāj gives us this conception in a very beautiful, simple, and straightforward manner, and draws on many beautiful shlokas from different scriptures to paint a beautiful picture of Krishna consciousness, as only a true transcendental poet can do. I just want to pause here because Siddhanti Maharaj he referred to that verse. Nigam kalpatarora galitam phalam shukmukamrata dravya samyutam. So, and he has perfectly, not that I'm trying to give a certificate, but to me it just appeals like so deeply that he has used this verse to explain why is it important to hear from Srila Govinda Maharaj, the conception. Because Shukamukhamrata Dravya Samyatam. So not just the fact that Srimad Bhagavatam is the ripened fruit of the desire tree of the Vedic knowledge or Vedic conception. Not only that, but to make it sweeter is the fact that it is coming through the lotus lips of Srila Dev-Goswāmī. And that we take. So now it's coming from Srila Govinda Mahārāj in the same line, from the line of Mahaprabhu, and so it is so sweet. Simply to pick up a book and to start reading Srimad Bhagavatam will not do anything for anyone. That is the parampara system. Okay. Okay. In part 2, Srila Govinda Maharaj takes us deeper into the subject matter of Krishna consciousness and shows us beyond a doubt that Krishna really is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the emporium of all rasa, Akhil Rasamrita Murti, by presenting a stunning description of his sweet pastimes, his wonderful associates, his transcendental flute, and his exquisite beauty based on shlokas from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Sarvadbhuta Chamatkara Leela Kallola Varidhi Atulya Madhura Prema Mandita Priya Mandala Trijagana Manasa Karshi Murali Kalakujita Asamanoradha Rupa Shri Vismapita Charachara. But before he does this, he cautions us in chapter 4 to first hear about Krishna consciousness in a step-by-step process. From a bona fide spiritual master, he says a bona fide spiritual master will not instruct his disciple in the higher pastimes of the Lord in the beginning. When a spiritual master sees his disciple is ready to hear about those higher pastimes, then he will instruct him, not before. If we don't follow this caution, we will get only imitation pastimes or an imitation diamond, as he says. We won't get the real thing. Throughout the book, Srila Govinda Maharaj stresses the importance of worshipping Krishna and shows us the real way to worship him is through Radha Dasyam, service to Srimati Radharani. And the way to worship her is through Sri Gurudev, who is the embodiment of Radharani in the highest aspect, and of Nityananda Prabhu in a little lower form. We get this knowledge of Krishna consciousness through the descending process, beginning with Krishna himself, who spoke it to Lord Brahma and then to Narada and Vyasadeva, and ultimately to our Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Mahārāj. Jai. The knowledge of Krishna consciousness is always descending through the hearts of the pure souls, and we can understand where a pure soul is by seeing the shining light bulb of transcendental knowledge that is burning in his pure heart. This is the knowledge given by Vyasadeva. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, Srila Guru Mahārāj, A.C. Bhaktivedanta-Swāmī, and now Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Mahārāj. We are very fortunate. Srila Govinda Mahārāj is presenting the proper conception of Srimad Mahaprabhu as he heard from his Guru Mahārāj. And we are even more fortunate. He can present it in a clear and straightforward manner as only a great teacher and devotee can do. In trying to make this book as an offering to Srila Govinda Mahārāj, I may have committed many errors for which I am asking everyone's forgiveness. With your help and suggestions, we will improve it in its second edition. Arun Prabhu, would you like to continue with the credits? You have to unmute, Prabhu.
Guruji, my edition is quite different from yours.
Huh?
At times it jumps, yeah.
Oh, it doesn't have this?
No, it has, yeah. Can you continue on, please?
Sure. In making any book, there are always many people who help, but I would like to try to offer my appreciation to some of them. So many have come forward that it is not possible to mention them all, so I hope those that aren't mentioned will forgive me. When I first began transcribing Srila Gurudev's lectures many years ago, Anupama Devi Dasi from Germany helped by typing many pages of cumbersome manuscripts. I am grateful for her assistance, even though it has been many years since she helped. Shripad Bhakti Prapanna Tirtha Mahārāj and Shripad Nishkinchana Mahārāj have always been ready to help with the extensive Bengali and Sanskrit Srila Gurudev uses in his lectures, and without their help, this book would not have been possible. It is also due to Shripad Tirtha Mahārāj that the poem Your Fearless Lotus Feet came to my attention, along with other poems collected from old Gaudiya Darshan magazines. He published in a Bengali compilation titled Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev-Goswāmī Mahārāja Rachanamrata. I am grateful to Krishnananda Prabhu for his translation of Your Fearless Lotus Feet, which he completed after much hard labor. Shrutashrava Prabhu also helped at times with understanding Srila Guru Maharaj's Sanskrit verses and some other difficult aspects of the Siddhanta presented. Shripad Bhakti Kanan Giri Maharaj helped in the beginning, and Shripad Bhakti Swarup Tridandi Maharaj came along at a critical time and helped organize and proofread vast amounts of transcripts. He also enlisted the help of Jagdananda Prabhu and Ashravigraha Prabhu. Devamoy Devi Dasi also helped with the Bengali at times. I am grateful to Enakshi Devi Dasi, who freely and kindly donated her unique paintings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to be used in this publication. Bhuvan Mohan Prabhu came at a very critical time as I couldn't find anyone to do the layout and printing. He has had a lot of experience in this field, and when he offered to help, I knew one day this project would be completed. He also enlisted the help of Ishabandhu Prabhu and Sadhupriya Prabhu with the graphics and cover design, etc. And finally, Damayanti Devi Dasi gave some assistance as a proofreader. Om Tat Sat. Swami Bhakti Premik Siddhanti. Jai Swami Bhakti Premik Siddhanti Mahārāj ki Jai.
Yeah.
So do you have your Fearless Lotus Feet?
Yes.
So please, if you can go ahead with that.
So the preface is, Your Fearless Lotus Feet, Vyas Puja offering for His Divine Grace, Śrīla Bhakti Rakshak Śrīla Dev-Goswāmī Mahārāj, written by His Divine Grace, Śrīla Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev-Goswāmī Mahārāj, in 1957. And so the title is Your Fearless Lotus Feet. They come from such faraway lands, bearing gifts of worship in their outstretched hands. Fervently they hasten, your kinsmen and bands, to greet you on this, your holy birthday. At your fearless lotus feet, they happily rejoice, whilst streaming eyes and stuttering voice, horripilating body and a love that is choice, considering themselves most fortunate. O most magnanimous Master, gracefully forgiving, on this holy day to offer, I have practically nothing. What little I have is sullied and trifling, not worthy of offering to Thee. Burning in repentance for my one-time thoughtlessness, your feet's shelter I beg in all repentance. Your feet's shelter I beg in all repentance. May I not even lose you from inadvertence. Please grant only fearlessness to me. You want me to continue or?
Yeah, go ahead.
Having lost myself in Maya's delusion, I have found only flickering pleasure and convulsion. On the giant wheel of virtue and indiscretion, and a garland of cradle and
sepulchres. Chinmay Prabhu, would you like to read?
Okay. Absorbed in a great purposeless search, away I have pushed the truth wealth of this birth, and tossed between heaven and earth, I've gotten only a burning fever. An abysmal hellfire ignites all around, projecting its snout while flames leap and bound, expanding a huge cavernous mouth, intending only to devour me. World engulfing and world scorching flames cause me to run hither and thither in torment, and wearied I drop into a slumberous suspense and Mahamaya's dense trickery. This great sinner, this fallen outcast, infatuated by the six enemies as aghast, as lust and greed propel him fast to the shore of the ocean of death. My uncontrolled mind, O will-o-wisp, takes no good counsel, though I give it the wit, carrying its burden in a subconscious grip, hastens me to doom's doorstep. Please save me, Lord, out of your own kind goodness. Your glance alone defeats Maya's madness. O shelter of all the poor and helpless, may the world behold your grace. Maya's bounds I cannot break, your lotus feet dust for to take. Do sever these bonds and forever make your holy lotus feet my serving place. Many a helpless wretch has found shade and shelter neath your ground, but this fallen soul by Maya bound can only heave long sighs. The nectar Ganges name you brought saved many helpless souls distraught, and yet this worthless slave is caught, deceived by day and night. My self-surrender is just a farce, to call my own my wealth is sparse. O Redeemer Lord, do make me yours, and call me your very own. Your lotus feet I humbly entreat, may forever be my object, sweet Lord. Bind and nourish me with daily service, and the rope of your kind compassion. Jai.
So now part 1, the glories of devotional service. The service of Vrindavan. This is Gurudev. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is non-different from Sri Radha Govinda, and he appeared in this world to relish the sweetness of the transcendental mellows which Srimati Radharani tasted in love of Krishna. Krishna did not have that opportunity. Therefore, he appeared as Sri Gaurangadev. We can understand this by this shloka of Srila Swarup Damodar Goswami. Radha Krishna Pranay Vikratir Allad Nishaktir Asmad Ekatmanavapi Bhuvi Pura Deha Bhedam Gatautau Sri Chaitanyakhyam Prakatam Adhuna Tadvayam Chaikyamaptam Radha Bhavadati Suvalitam Naumi Krishna Swarupam. This is Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela. Sri Rupa Goswami has written, Sri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima Kidrisho Vayaneva Swadya Yenad Bhutam Madhurima Kidrisho Va Madhya Saukhyam Chasya Mad Anubhavatah Kidrisham Veti Lobhat Tad Bhavaraya Samajani Sachigarva Sindho Harindo. Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela. The supreme devotee of the Lord. Once our Guru Mahārāj, Om Vishnupad, Śrīla Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev-Goswāmī Mahārāj was preaching in South India, and he was invited to speak at an assembly of Pandits. When Guru Mahārāj was seated, the Pandits asked him some questions. They were all experts in Sanskrit and vastly learned in all respects. They asked him who, in his opinion, was the supreme devotee of the Lord. They said they considered the Chatusan, the 4 Kumar sages, Sanak, Sanatana, Sanandana and Sanat Kumar, to be the supreme devotees of the Lord. At first, Srila Guru Mahārāj did not say anything, so the head Pandit directly asked him, "Can you tell us, sir, who you think the best devotee of the Lord is?" Guru Mahārāj said, "I can tell you, but can you accept what I say?" The head Pandit replied, "Yes, if it is reasonable, we can accept it." Then Guru Mahārāj said, "In our conception, the Chatussan are primary grade devotees. the Pandits were shocked to hear this. They asked Guru Mahārāj who in his opinion was a higher class devotee. Guru Mahārāj answered, there is a shloka in the Srimad Bhagavatam that differs from your claim. And since you have all read the Srimad Bhagavatam, why do you say the four Kumaras are the supreme devotees? Then Guru Mahāraja quoted that shloka. Na tatha me priyatama atmayo niranash shankara na cha sankarshano na shrir naivatma cha yatha bhavan. Here Lord Krishna says to Uddhava, the Chatushan's father, Lord Brahma is their Guru. But he is not as dear to me as you are. Even Shankara, Lord Shiva, who is the greatest Vaishnava and who is always chanting my holy name, is not as dear to me as you. Lakshmi Devi, the goddess of fortune, who resides on my chest, is also not as dear to me as you. Even my own self, Naivatma, is not as dear to me as you are. You are my most dear devotee. Krishna told Uddhava that he is his most dear devotee, and when Srila Guru Mahārāj gave this answer, the Pandits were stunned. But after Uddhava went to Vrindavan and saw the Vrajagopis and the Vrajavasi's mood of devotion, dedication and wholehearted service, he said, Asam aho charan renu dusham hamsyam vrindavane kimapi gulma lataushadina yadistajam swajanam aja patham chahitva bejur mukunda padavim shruti. If I can take my birth as a piece of grass on the footpaths of Vrindavan, where the Vrajagopis walk, so the dust of their feet will bless me, I will feel my life is successful. There is no doubt Krishna is more satisfied by the devotion of the gopis than he is satisfied with his dearest disciple Brahma. His dear brother Sankarshana, or Sri Lakshmi Devi, who always resides on his chest, or even with his dearmost devotee, Lord Shiva. The Vrajavasis, especially the Vrajagopis, have this type of dedication, devotion, and wholehearted service attitude. And Uddhava, the dearest devotee and disciple of Lord Krishna, declares this. This is real Krishna consciousness. And real Krishna consciousness is proceeding in this line. Krishna, Arjuna's charioteer. Many people have many different ideas and conceptions about Krishna consciousness, but they all accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In some of them, Krishna's position is like that of a master. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna teaches Arjuna like a spiritual master. He gives spiritual knowledge to him, so the followers of this line generally worship the Gita Krishna, or the Krishna who presented the Bhagavad Gita to this world. An example of this is when Krishna and Arjuna were on the battlefield of Kurukshetra and they saw millions of soldiers ready to fight. Previously, Duryodhana and Arjuna both wanted to ask Krishna for his help in the battle. So when Krishna was sleeping, they both went to see him. When Krishna awoke, he saw Arjuna first. Duryodhana was a great personality and like an elder brother to Arjuna. But when Krishna saw Arjuna first, he asked him why he had come. Arjuna said, King Yudhishthir has sent me to ask for your help in the battle of Kurukshetra. Krishna said, I thought that was the reason you came, and I think Duryodhana has also come for the same reason. But I am not going to fight in this battle. I shall not use any weapons. If I can give any other help, I will do that. I have millions of soldiers, and they can fight. I am giving you first choice. Arjuna, please choose. Just a quick pause. Duryodhana wasn't really happy when Krishna said that, Arjuna, please choose. You know that why? What did Duryodhana say?
No,
He said,
I have come first.
Yes, he said.
Why are you asking,
Yes.
giving him the first choice?
Yes. So then to that the Lord replied, because I saw Arjun first. And why did he see, or how did he see Arjun first, was because he was laying down. So when Arjuna came, he sat at the feet of the Lord. And when Duryodhana came, he sat on the side of the bed, or towards his head. So when the Lord opened his eyes, then he saw Arjuna first. But Arjuna was at his feet, while Duryodhana was positioning himself towards his head. So,
Full of pride.
exactly.
He wanted to take the head side seat there.
Oh yeah, that we're equal. Namaskar Preeti ji.
Yet, still, Duryodhana was very happy in the end.
Yes, because Arjuna, he says, I want you, and he was not gonna fight. So Duryodhana got his heart's wish, which was the Narayani Sena. He says, okay, it's fine. If my younger brother wants you, that's okay. I'll make do with your millions of soldiers. And in his mind, he was thinking, Arjuna's such a loser. He's just, what does he think he's doing? So, okay, back to Gurudev. Krishna said, I thought that was the reason you came, and I think Duryodhana has also come for the same reason, but I am not going to fight in this battle. I shall not use any weapons. If I can give any other help, I will do that. I have millions of soldiers and they can fight. I am giving you first choice, Arjun. Please choose. Arjun said, I need you. Krishna said, all right. Then Krishna looked to Duryodhana and said, is that all right with you? Are you happy? Duryodhana said, yes, that's very good, especially if you will not fight. Is that your promise?
I would be embarrassed if you was my brother.
Krishna replied, yes, I shall not fight. Then Duryodhana said, if you will not fight, then what Arjuna said is all right with me. Shall I get all your soldiers? Krishna agreed and said, yes. Both left very happily. Duryodhana was thinking he had all of Krishna's soldiers, and Arjuna was happy because Krishna had accepted his proposal. After Duryodhana left, Arjuna stayed, and Krishna said, Arjuna, you are very foolish. Why did you take me? Why did you take me when you heard I would not fight? You could have had all of my soldiers. Arjuna said, I am not afraid to fight with that group. It is not difficult to fight with them. I can fight with everybody. But I need your help in this battle. I have one request from you. Krishna said, what is your request? Arjuna asked, will you be my chariot driver while I am fighting? Krishna was very happy to hear this. He said to be a chariot driver is not such a respectable position, but to be your driver is very respectable. I accept your proposal. I will be very happy to stay with you. When both sides were ready to fight, Arjuna said, Senayor uhayor madhye ratham sthapayame chuta. O Krishna, please place my chariot between the two armies. I want to see who has come to fight. This is very nice, and it expresses one form of Krishna. He is carrying out the order of Arjuna, and then he instructs Arjuna as a spiritual master. So I think if you agree, we should pause here. Then, but next we will begin next time. It says subjective perceptions of the Lord. So we will begin next time, and we don't want to rush through any of it. So we will go try to understand and try to relish. Give me a moment as I gather the troops. Senayor ubayor madhye.
There's not even one. There's two people.
My 0.1 troop.
You keep saying troops. There's two people. There's two people.
One trooper, two troops.
I don't think that's how that works.
You're a troopy. Papa the troopy.
Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda
Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda
Hari Haraya Namah Krishna Yadavaya Namaha
Hariharaya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha
Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan
Gopala Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan
गिरिधारी गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन
गिरिधारी गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन
श्री चैतन्य नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैताचार्य
चैतन्य नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैताचार्य
गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरा भक्त वृंदा
गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद
जय रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ
जय रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ
श्री जीव गोपाल भट्ट दस रघुनाथ
गोपाल भट्ट दश रघुनाथ
छाय गोसाई गोरी चरण बंदन
करी चरण बंधन
जहाँ होते विघ्न नाश अभिष्ट पुराण
विघ्न नाश अभिष्ट पुराण
इच्छाय गोसाई जर मोहि तारा दास
गोसाई जल मुई तरदास
तं सवार पाद रेणु मोरा पंचग्रास
बार पदरेनु मोरा पंचग्रास
तंडेर चरण सेवी भक्ता सने वास
अधेर चरण से भी भक्त सनिर्वास
जनमे मोरा यही अभिलाष
जनमे मोरा यही अभिलाष
इच्छाय गोसाई जबे ब्रज कोइलावास
साई गोसाई जबे ब्रज कैलावास
श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण नित्य लीला कोरिला प्रकाश
कृष्ण राधा कृष्ण नित्य लीला कोरिला प्रकाश
आनंद बोलो हरे भजा वृंदावन
आनंद बल हरि भज वृंदावन
श्री गुरु वैष्णव पद मजैया मान
श्री गुरु वैष्णव पदे मजैया मान
श्री गुरु वैष्णव पाद पद्मा कोरियास
श्री गुरु वैष्णव पद पद्म कोरियास
हरि नाम संकीर्तन कहे नरोत्तम दास
हरि नाम संकीर्तन कहे नरोत्तम दास
हरि हराय नमः कृष्ण यादवाय नमः
हरि हराय नमः कृष्ण यादवाय नमः
यादवाय माधवाय केशवाय नमः
यादवाय माधवाय केशवाय नमः
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे
हरे राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे राम 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 हरे हरे
नित्य गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौरा हरि बोल
जय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल
जय जय गुरुदेव गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव
जय जय गुरुदेव Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jai Gauranga Sundar, Jai Gauranga Sundar, Jai Gauranga Sundar, Jai Gauranga Sundar.
Jai Gauranga Sundar, Jai Gauranga Sundar, Jai Gauranga Sundar, Jai Gauranga Sundar.
Jai. Okay, Anika ji, please go ahead.
Jai Sundar, Shri Gauranga Govinda Govinda Sundar Dev-Goswāmī ki jai.
Jai.
Jai Vishnu Padmaksha Paravar Chakrara Vyas Sarasatra Shri Srimad Bhakti Sundar Dev-Goswāmī Mahārāj ki jai.
Jai.
Jai Vishnu Padmaksha Paravar Chakrara Vyas Sarasatra Shri Srimad Bhakti Raksakshar Dev-Goswāmī Mahārāj ki jai.
Jai.
Jai Om Vishnu Padmaksha Paravar Chakrara Vyas Sarasatra Shri Srimad Bhakti Sanata Saraswati Thakur ki jai.
Jai.
Jai Om Vishnu Padmaksha Paravar Das Babji Mahārāj ki jai.
Jai.
Jai Om Vishnu Padmaksha Chachi Nand Bhakti Vinoda Thakur ki jai.
Jai.
Jai Om Vishnu Padmaksha Jagannath Das Babji Mahārāj ki jai.
Jai.
Shri Rupanuga Guru Varga ki jai.
Jai.
Namacharya Śrīla Haridas Thakur ki jai.
Jai.
Ananta Puri Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.
Jai.
Shri Baladeva Vidya Bhushan ki jai.
Jai.
Śrīla Vishwanath Chakravarti Prabhu ki jai.
Jai.
Shri Narottama Shyamananda Srinivasacharya Prabhu ki jai.
Jai.
Shri Ravindravan Das Thakur ki jai.
Jai.
Shri Krishna Kaviraj ki jai.
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 Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai.
Jai.
Karta Shri Mahaprabhu ki jai.
Jai.
Jai Shri Srivas Krishna Gopi Gopinath Shyam Kunda Radhakunda Giri Govardhan ki jai.
Jai.
Shri Lakshmi Bardeva ki jai.
Jai.
Sudha Bhakti Vrinda Shri Nrsimhadeva ki jai.
Jai.
Bhakta Prabhupada Mahārāj ki jai.
Jai.
Mahārāj ki jai.
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 Govinda Jagannath ji ki jai.
Jai.
Srimad Nandaraja Shri Bhaktam Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai.
Jai.
Vishnu Vaishnava Raja Sab ki jai.
Jai.
Pratmat Raja Shri Chaitanya Mat ki jai.
Jai.
Ajay Sab Mat ki jai.
Jai.
Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat ki jai.
Jai.
Vishva Pabhiya Tariya Sakha Mat ki jai.
Jai.
Shri Damai Klub ki jai.
Jai.
Shri Dam Navardeep ki jai.
Jai.
Vendravan Sutam Dam ki jai.
Jai.
Baldev Subhadra Jagannath ji ki jai.
Jai.
Shri Govinda Kunda ki jai.
Jai.
Shri Shari Shiva Gangraju ki jai.
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 Sarveta Vaishnava Mandala ki jai.
Jai.
Samveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.
Jai.
Hari Ram Sankirtan ki jai.
Jai.
Nitai Gaur Nande Hari Hari.
Hari Hari Bo. Jai Om Vishnupad Śrīla Bhakti Rakshak Śrīla Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev-Goswāmī Mahārāj ki jai.
Jai.
Jai Om Vishnupad Śrīla Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev-Goswāmī Mahārāj ki jai.
Jai.
Jai Om Vishnupad Vishwarenya Śrīla A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Jai Om Vishnupad Bhagavan Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki jai.
Jai.
Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.
Jai.
Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math Acharya Vrinda ki jai.
Jai.
Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math Sannasi Vrinda ki jai.
Jai.
Jai Śrīla Bhakti Pavan Janardhan Mahārāj ki jai.
Jai.
Jai Śrīla Bhakti Nirmala Acharya Mahārāj ki jai.
Jai.
Jai Sapashad Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai.
Jai.
Sapashad Shriman Mahaprabhu ki jai.
Jai.
Rupanuga Guru Varga ki jai.
Jai.
Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai.
Jai.
Jai Divine Panelist Sripad Arun Krishna Prabhu ki jai. Our divine panelist Shripad Chinmoy Dev Prabhu ki jai.
Jai.
Our guest Preeti ji, Anika ji, Bikram ji and family ki jai.
Jai.
Our Facebook guests, Shripad Deepta Krishna Prabhu ki jai.
Jai.
Juan Hidalgo ki jai.
Jai.
Ranga Devi Dasi ki jai.
Jai.
And then Prema Rupa Devi Dasi ki jai.
Jai.
And all the others, visible, invisible, Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.
Jai.
Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.
Ram Prabhu ki jai. Didi ki jai. Damanika Didi ki jai. Na Prabhu ki jai. All the devotees ki jai.
Dandavad, Dandavad. Let's see.